Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play it against sports at 48th and Vine.
In a world where Wi-Fi battles rage and bandwidth is never enough, one family dares to connect it all. Work from home, influence all day, stream all night, and game to win. Deadlines, downloads, and dance-offs, all happening under one roof, flawlessly. Can your internet provider do that? Fiber fuel your household at allofiber.com/all-in.
January is your reset button. This January 10th, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping in Lincoln is kicking off our 10-week challenge. We combine high-energy kickboxing, powerful strength training, and simple, proven nutrition to deliver real results in just 10 weeks. For a limited time, get $150 off when you enroll today. No gimmicks, just coaching, accountability, and a community that pushes you to win. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Visit fxblincoln.com and start your strongest year yet at Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. 2 locations, South 40th and Yankee Hill, North 70th and Vine. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, changing lives 10 weeks at a time.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. Strap up your headgear and try not to hit the mat too hard. This is Takedown Tuesday with Nebraska Wrestling head coach Mark Manning.
Facts don't lie. Wrestling is a pretty big deal in the Big Ten, so it's a pretty big deal to us.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, Mark Manning.
Alrighty, welcome to Takedown Tuesday. Bridge love it. Got Coach Manning back in the studio with us. So, it's always a good day when Coach Mo's in the building. So before we get to that, Takedown Tuesday on 93.7 The Ticket is sponsored by Stephen Smith Construction. Stephen Smith Construction is an employee-owned company with nearly 250 employees with over 2,000 years of service combined. They lead the industry as a full-service concrete company specializing in residential and commercial foundations and flat work. Stephen Smith has locations in Lincoln, Omaha, and Kansas City, and you can learn more today at stephensmith.com. If you have any comments or questions, you can be a part of the show by texting our Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line at 402-464-5685 or by leaving a comment on our Facebook, X, or YouTube streams. So, Coach Manning, man,
What's up, Rich?
It was a good day last week, Friday night. That was a good one. It was a Saturday.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday. It's all the same.
Yeah, our guys performed well. It was really good. Good day for Nebraska wrestling, against a good opponent. And, we made some gains from before Christmas. So we're doing something right. And, it's all about our guys here. They did a really good job. And we put a lot of points on the board, I thought. And we wrestled pretty well.
Yeah, they get the win over UNI 30-6. And I know me, Ridge, Caleb Smith, we talked about it a lot last night. You had some guys step up, really impressive moments. What'd you see out of Harley Andrews in particular? Because he came out there and we talked about it. He didn't seem scared of the moment whatsoever.
Yeah, it was good. Really good for Harley. I think he's made a big jump in his wrestling this year. He's got good competition in the room with AJ and then with Cade Ziola. So he works out a lot with Christian Lance, one of our former All-Americans who's part of our RTC. So Harley's done a really good job, and more about him self-developing, his self-belief. That's what it's all about. He's got the skills, he's got good talent, and Harley cut it loose. And then, then the guy got like a takedown on him, and they got all hyped, and then, Harley kind of finished them off late, and the crowd really got into it. And it was really good. Big moment for Harley. And, it's good. Anytime you get out in front of fans and you're able to perform, it's just different. You can do it in practice room, but when you do it out there in front of on a big stage, and we had an amazing crowd. I want to thank all our fans. I bet we had about 4,000 fans, which is really cool for our guys to be able to wrestle in that environment. Our environment is just really cool. I think more, just a lot of the comments from other teams, just say, man, this is really great environment. They're really appreciative of it. And I know our team is, and I just want to thank, Husker Nation for showing up and supporting these guys, and our guys feed off it. We do that tunnel walk at the beginning on our way out, and that's been a hit. A lot of young kids are down there, and families just, getting our guys hyped and getting them energized to perform, and know that there's people that love them and love how they compete. And it's really cool thing. So, yep. Harley ended the night like we kind of got it started a little bit, so it's really good.
That tunnel walk's legit too. I was talking to these guys. It was, I believe it was North Carolina, and we had Matt's side, and we're pulling up there, and the kids were starting to get lined up in the tunnel walk. I think they might have thought me and Jake Bachman were wrestlers, and DP was our head coach. But it's an awesome atmosphere. Those kids were fired up for it. You got the lights going on there, and then the elevated mat obviously makes it just such an awesome showing. I do want to talk a little bit more about Harley Andrews, because I know, Ridge, you called it. You're seeing some things in practice. But let's get to Cupsker off text line first. He says, shout out to you, Ridge. My buddy and his daughter were at the meet Friday, and you took time out of your day to meet him and snap a picture. He says, class act, brother. As always, you guys can always join in. 402-464-5685. And I think just about all those wrestlers will stand by and take some pictures if you guys ask kindly for him. But, Ridge, what did you see in Harley Andrews? Because you were kind of hyping him up a little bit, saying that he was working really well in practice.
Yeah, he and that's a little bit. Big guys work out on one side of the room, right? I'm in the middle to the smaller guy side of it, so I don't really get to see a whole lot of it. But just talking with Christian Lance after practice, I think it was last week, 2 weeks ago, he was like, Harley's getting a lot better, like quickly. He's really starting to improve. And I think for me, a big part of it is maybe some time outside of the starting lineup. It's like no pressure. You're in there wrestling. You're not focusing on the next duel. You're not focusing on your next match. You're in there just training just to get better, right? Whether you're helping someone, picking little things up, or that day, you're kind of taking it as your own, focusing on what you need to work on. But Christian was saying like, hey, like Harley's really kind of turning the corner a little bit. And, getting to see him after taking a couple months off. He hadn't competed since the Navy Classic.
Yeah, that's right.
Going out there and, finishing off the duel. And it's being a heavyweight. It's like, some of the families start to leave a little bit. Fans start to head out trying to beat the traffic. So it's always kind of a little weird, but he kept a lot of those people in their seats, started off the mat with a big time double, got up through the kid, got him off his feet, put him on his back. It was good from start to finish. He wrestled a real good match. I was proud of the way that he went out there and competed.
Yeah, I think he probably got a few fans that night. And another guy who seems to be becoming one of the favorites as well is Minto.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
he's been an animal.
Dog.
Yeah.
What are you seeing out of him this year? I mean, just physically, he looks like a different guy. Yeah.
Boy, strong.
You see the strength out there too.
Yeah. Yeah. He's about, the kid he wrestled, was in the round of 12 the last 2 years. He's really, Jared Simmons, really good. And he's, I think he's a 5th-year senior, right, Rich? Mm-hmm. And so he's been around. He's a veteran for them. And Christopher just really opened up. He wrestled really well. And, we talked all the time about putting more points on the board. And, he got 3 takedowns, I think. And, or he got a reversal and 3 takedowns, or maybe 2 takedowns and riding. So he got he had a great match and wrestled with a lot of freedom, you could tell. And, shout out to Harley too, just what Ridge was saying, you're a lot of times these dual meets come down to heavyweight, right? There's a lot of pressure on the heavyweight, a lot of pressure on the 125 to set the tone, and then a lot of pressure on the heavyweight at the end of the match. He's a little bit like the quarterback. Can he make the throw when you need it? Can type thing, and Harley came through. It was really good. And, like we were talking about Christopher Mento, really, he's coming into his own. He needs to make that next jump in his wrestling, and he showed it there. And, super excited to see him wrestle this Friday, and then obviously the next Friday, and then it's on like Groundhog Day. Every day is the same. So we got a gauntlet coming up, so it's going to be fun.
Yeah, we talked about that gauntlet before. I know it really started with Oklahoma State and then UNI, and then it's Purdue on Friday, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that one at home, definitely want to show out. Then that one, we'll be pushing you guys there along the way as we do some of these Tick a Weeknight shows, try to get you guys to fill that place up. And I heard the crowd got into it a little bit. It was a bit of a fiery crowd for UNI. What's the story behind that? I know it was a lot of fun, but I heard some fans were getting into it. It was a good showing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll turn that over to Rich.
Yeah, I was sitting in the stands. I was a fan with them, but there was some UNI fans sitting over to the right of us, and they were getting pretty loud. In the first match, they wanted some back points somewhere, and then in the 33-pound match, Jake Van Dee came out, put that boy on his back, and I jumped right up and started yelling back. I was like, "Come on, get on your belly, count them swipes!" But the fans, they were getting on the refs a little bit. Anytime that the UNI coaches started chatting, they're yelling at Schwab to throw his brick. So it was good. It's always fun when the crowd starts getting into it, starts getting loud. It's a little antsy. Those are the things that you want to see. So it made it really entertaining. As a fan sitting there listening to everybody yelling, it was fun.
Yeah, I mean, as a fan, like obviously it's different for some of the, but as a fan, you get fired up, and it's the best thing. I mean, that's a fan that is anything but apathetic. They're starting to really care and get into it. Coach Manning, what have you been seeing out of the fan base? I feel like it really took off, these past few seasons, and this year we're still building up into it. I know you got an attendance record, and fan base is getting fired up for these.
Oh yeah, they're they're into the matches, and they know listen, these are like street fight with rules, and so you get in these hotly contested matches like we had a lot against Oklahoma State, and then some of the same with Northern Iowa this last weekend, and 125 and 65 end up being overtime, and 25 they two of their better guys, and just, man, got to find a way to just pull those out. We're so close there, and I think Alan Kaler's making he's moving himself up. He's starting to believe in himself more and more, and he was in on the guy several times, just couldn't finish, and we're going to work on that and see if we can, flip the script here this week.
Yeah, and Rich, I know you mentioned that too. You saw some aggressiveness in him. What were you seeing?
Yeah,
in that 125.
Because with our 25-pounders, that's been kind of a sticky situation with who's going to go out there, and it's obviously coach's decision, but even from like a training partner, teammate standpoint, it's like we're waiting to see someone kind of step forward and just take the spot. Right, because the opportunity is there, especially with all the duels that we have coming up and the duels that we've had in the past. Like they've both had opportunities to really like take that step forward and win their spot out there on the mat. Right, because back and forth in the room and their practice partners, so all that it's different competition feel. But once they're out there on the mat, this was probably the best showing that I've seen from either one of them. Right, Kale had a good win a few weeks ago against Mizzou, beating my boy Mac, but with AK against UNI, he was on the offense. He was looking for attacks, just couldn't quite get to a finish, but was in on deep shots 3 or 4 times. And just, he was a split second away, one bad decision here, there, to winning that match. So that's what we're looking for, is going out there and being offensive and wrestling. Like you can see it with all the other matches. There's a style that our whole team kind of tries to adhere to, and we're offensive minded. We're moving forward. We're winning the hand fight, and we saw a lot of that from him. And I was proud of the way that he wrestled.
Was that one going to OT? Okay,
he got taken down with
right at the end.
That's right.
Right at the end. Yeah.
Well, speaking of some of those OTs, though, regardless, when you get to some of those, because we always, what was Caleb Smith's record is something ridiculous, like
11-1.
Oh yeah, there you go, 11-1.
In 2 years as a Husker,
Which
that
is
boy had 12 overtime matches.
unreal. What kind of magic did he tap into to pull that off? I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, to win, one, to be in that many tight matches, and then I mean, a little bit that falls on Caleb putting himself in that overtime, but
I think he was doing
then having
purpose.
a way to, Houdini out of it, and winning 11 out of the 12. That's a pretty good record with overtimes, and that just shows he's a tough man, and he's he just puts himself in the fight. He stays in the fight, and a lot of times in our sport, when it gets to nationals and gets to big matches, sometimes just staying in the fight, it gets you the win, get your hand raised. And Caleb understood that well. And he played that scene out well.
Yeah. And because NCAAs is on ESPN, my boy was trying to maximize his TV time, get himself some extra minutes out there.
He was looking for more NIL there. And
he was just trying to stay on that big screen. But I mean, shoot, if you're on the big screen and you're winning, you can maximize your time. More power to you.
Put it on the show. Yeah, just an incredible stat. Every time I hear that stat,
yeah,
it's just in 2 years.
It is. Yeah, it's legendary.
How do you coach guys through it when they get to those situations? Is that just pure cardio? Is that just grit? Who wants it more? What do those situations usually come down to?
Well, a little bit of, you got to practice those things, and we practice those things, be putting our guys in those situations. And, you try to, you get your guys a little tired because they're going to be tired in those situations, and getting their mind focused on where they need to be. And when they're tired and when they don't feel like, doing this or that, you got to make your body do it. And, you got to train it. And, we try to prepare for those type of moments, ride outs, 30 seconds, or, getting a takedown late. So really good. And Killer Boys obviously took that to heart.
It's incredible. And we always, the amount of work that he always wants to put in. That's why I'm like, maybe it's cardio for the work ethic that kind of guy has. But it's awesome. And then you got a room with some national champs, and then you got really great competition in there. When you're looking in that room, how important is that you have that competition really going at it? When you're kind of mid-season, you want to keep guys healthy, but you're also trying to balance out people's health.
Yeah, for sure. It's an area where you got to really make sure you're doing the right thing for your team. Sometimes, winning the room is important, but not every day. You don't have to win every go, or you don't have to be with the toughest guy in the room each and every day. Some of our guys, you don't want that because someone's going to get hurt, and hopefully your starter's not the one guy that does get hurt. So you got to really manage that. That's a key. That's a key to being really good. You got to pick your days when you go hard, and then you have to be just smart on who needs what. This guy needs a little harder competition. This guy needs maybe a guy that he can score a lot of points on, or be able to get his offense off on. And so yeah, those things are all important. That's a great question, and we're always meddling that in our coaches meetings.
Well, in the wrestling, I mean, you guys are a different breed. I say it all the time in terms of competitiveness. Is that like the coaches got to come in there? Because I'd imagine that room, you got a bunch of guys that just want to win, or is it pretty well understood at this Division I level?
Well, I think our room, with us, we have 5 RTC athletes, 5 guys that wrestled at Nebraska. So I think that's a way different feeling than just having 5 guys from wherever, that wrestled at whatever, Pembroke State, and they come to Nebraska. They have more pride. They're more invested in our program. And so they're going to help these guys, and they're going to be tougher on them. And so they're not going to give them an inch. And so there's a lot of pride factor there, and just a lot of, big brother type thing. Hey, I'm a bigger brother than you, and you're not going to whoop my tail today. And so I think that that format's worked well for us. And then obviously we have other guys that wrestle in the room, and, it's good. It's good. And coaches, Kokish or Travell or Brian Schneider or James Green, those guys are not chopped liver. So it's really good. And I think sometimes it's needed. Sometimes you got to back off, make sure they can score and can gain confidence. You don't want to wear someone out and hurt their confidence,
Absolutely. And, we talk about, a lot of the athletes all the time, rightfully so, but you look at that coaching staff, Ridge, I know you can attest to it. And then Coach Manning, how important is it? I mean, it seems like you got a great group of guys around you in that room with you. What can you say about the coaching staff that you've really put around you to allow these past few seasons, even early on, to have this much success?
Yeah, it's really good. It's really imperative if we want to take this program where we want just the buy-in. My staff is really good. And, those guys do a great job, and, it's just a reflection of our program, my staff. So it's good. It's, I love them for what they do, and they're all super committed to our team is what is very apparent, and they do anything for our guys, on or off the mat. And I think our guys feed off that.
How beneficial is it that some of those guys are even still competing? Some of those guys that are helping you out, they'll go out there and they're still out wrestling themselves. So they're still kind of in the fight in a different area, but with those guys.
Yeah. James Green actually took off today for a ranking tournament overseas in Albania. And so, I think, he's still competing. Obviously Caleb is competing, Liam's competing, Peyton and Christian Lane. So, all those guys are trying to make their own mark. And so it's really good. It's really great for our program. And, we have a lot of donors who really, they're really the ones that made this happen, because they fund our Nebraska Wrestling Training Center, and that keeps our guys around to be able to seek their Olympic and world goals. And so James has made 7 world teams. And so that's a big deal. I mean, there's only one guy that get on the world team, and James has made 7 of them. And obviously everyone knows Jordan Burroughs won 8 world titles, and he was on 11 world Olympic teams. I mean, it's unheard of. And so, but he was here for, 16 years of his, competitive career, and 5 of them in college, and then after college, another 11 years. So, someone had to help pay this bill. So NWTC provided that opportunity to keep Jordan and Lauren Burroughs here and training and in this environment, and obviously giving back to the other guys around them, guys like Ridge and guys like Antrell, guys like, all throughout our lineup. So really, really impressive. And, really our donors deserve so much of the credit for really pitching in and contributing to someone's goal of being a world or Olympic champion. And that's a big deal, And, that's nice that we have 5 guys right now that are former Husker All-Americans and national champs training in our room. It's a blessing.
Just for the competitive spirit. And Ridge, I know I'm talking to you and Caleb Smith sometimes just for traveling purposes. The first time around the road and what it looks like getting to some tournaments after college. What can you say to test the, just how beneficial it is having those guys in the room that are, again, they're still in the fight?
Yeah. Well, one, with the training partner side of it, like I worked out with James today before he took off. It's like,
yeah,
I'm wrestling with James Green. He was on 7 world teams. He's still competing. He is ready to go. I could attest to that. My face. Oh my gosh. We were going to war this morning, but it's awesome having those guys that are still competing, because they're the guys on the team. They have different goals right now than what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Right, the guys that are done. So it's like our competitions are a little more spread out. These guys their schedule's been set for months. They're ready to go. They're getting ready for NCAAs, and Then when it comes to me and Caleb being in Puerto Rico, staying in a one bed, one bath, little hut, it wasn't quite a hut. It was a duplex, one side tattoo parlor, one side mini apartment. It was a funky little setup, but just being able to text those guys, be like, hey, like, have you been here before? Like, what should we be looking for? What kind of food where should we go to find food? Like, what type of things should we be looking for? And, Caleb's, he's learning Spanish. So the next time he goes to Puerto Rico, he'll be a little more well-equipped, but it's good just to, pick their brain about different things when it comes to international tournaments and, where to spend your time. And then also as like a tourist while you're there, we were talking about Istanbul, and James was telling me, yeah, there's this spot, this spot, this spot. Like, there's these things.
This spot, don't go there. What to avoid as well.
Yeah,
I'm
what
sure.
to avoid. And Christian today was asking, he was like, yeah, so like, can I drink the water there? He was like, yeah. I was like, see, that's not even a question I would think to have asked. But it's just the little things like that, having those guys that have been there, done that, to pick their brain a little bit. Then also that you can't get a better training partner.
No, well said. And with that being said, we do got to throw at the break. We'll dive a little bit more into the UNI match as well as what's coming down the road this weekend for Nebraska wrestling. We got head coach Mark Manning, national champ Ridge Lovett. You guys are always welcome to join in. 402-464-5685. We'll throw at the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back on the other side.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at coppellcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
Change begins with you. Join a weight loss medication study at Solarion and earn cash in the process. If you are 19 to 65 years old with excess weight to lose, you may qualify. Participants could earn up to $22,750 for their time. Study includes 1 2-night stay, 1 3-night stay, and 38 returns. Learn more at helpresearch.com/flamingo or call 866-213-2965. Weight loss not guaranteed.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to start strong, so you can give everything you've got. From plate-loaded strength equipment and functional training areas to treadmills, stair climbers, and free weights. Our equipment is best in class, and our clubs are right around the corner, so you can make this your strongest year yet. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, January 9th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Against Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Against Sports at 48th and Vine. A new season, a home crowd, a fresh start. Love Nebraska opens its 2026 home schedule on Sunday, January 11th at Baxter Arena, hosting Love Houston in the home opener. First serve is set for 3 p.m., and the excitement starts the moment the doors open. Don't miss the chance to see elite professional volleyball featuring Olympians, All-Americans, national champions, and more as the season officially gets underway. It's opening night, Nebraska. Be there. Get tickets now at lovneb.com/tickets.
January is your reset button. This January 10th, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping in Lincoln is kicking off our 10-week challenge. We combine high-energy kickboxing, powerful strength training, and simple, proven nutrition to deliver real results in just 10 weeks. For a limited time, get $150 off when you enroll today. No gimmicks, just coaching, accountability, and a community that pushes you to win. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Visit fxblincoln.com and start your strongest year yet at Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. 2 locations, South 40th and Yankee Hill, North 70th and Vine. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, changing lives 10 weeks at a time.
In a world where Wi-Fi battles rage and bandwidth is never enough, one family dares to connect it all. Work from home, influence all day, stream all night, and game to win. Deadlines, downloads, and dance-offs, all happening under one roof, flawlessly. Can your internet provider do that? Fiber fuel your household at allofiber.com/all-in.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Back to Takedown Tuesday with Nebraska Wrestling head coach Mark Manning, powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Takedown Tuesday on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm your host, Ridge Lovett, Mark Manning in the studio. So you and I, last week, great showing from the Huskers. Kind of blew them out of the water a little bit, lost a good wrestling. All the guys seemed like they were firing on all cylinders. And little revenge from last year. Wrestled the same time, that first duel back from Christmas break. What we've struggled there in the past, that first duel back. So there was a little bit of a, I don't know, little hex, little curse, if you will. If you ask AJ Ferrari, maybe a little curse. But what was different this year? Because it looked like we hadn't missed a beat.
Yeah, I think, and if not, we'll look better from Oklahoma State match. We looked better, the other night. A little better opponent, obviously Oklahoma State is, but I think we were more aggressive, and people can evaluate from 1 year to 1 year, and this hex going on, and I don't believe any of that stuff. I just think it's your team having the right mindset going into it, and we had a different mindset than we did last year, and wrestled with a lot more energy, and we had our guys we're all really good with their weight, and that's a big thing in our sport, being able to have the energy to bring it. And I think we wrestled with good energy, and we were popping. And so it was good, really good to see. And hopefully we're just going to build off it. This weekend, Purdue start a Big Ten season now. It gets really real.
Oh yeah.
Big Ten season, everyone counts. And, this is no different than Iowa match, Purdue counts the same, and they got a good team. Tony Ursuline used to be one of my former assistants, and he's done a really good job. And I mean, their big gun is really their 165 pounder. He was a national runner up to Antrell Taylor last year, Joey Blaze, and he's a really good wrestler. And, but we're not scared of him. LJ was really good, and we believe in LJ, and so it's what it's all about. Good match, and they have some good talented guys, so we got to be ready from the start.
What's the no, go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's gonna be 2 weeks in a row for me at least. The LJ's match is kind of the marquee matchup of the night with Ryder Downey, who again was another 57-pounder. Him and Trelly traded last year, and Trelly was what 2-1.
Yeah,
2-1 with Blaze last year, right? So it's LJ's kind of getting an early look into where guys that he will probably wrestle in March, late in the tournament. And it's I think it's awesome that because LJ, first year in the lineup, getting these big time matches early in the season, getting to it can open your eyes a little bit, and you can start to pick up a lot of stuff and start to learn a little bit. And this is going to be another tough one for him. I'm excited for the kid.
Hey, he's been awesome. He's been really stepping up. Also, just some of the leadership you got on that team. Silas Allred's been awesome. Obviously,
Yes.
Brock Hardy keeps doing Brock Hardy things. What does leadership look like on this roster? Do you got people, a lot of vocal leaders? Is a lot of just doing it by action? Who's been some of the leaders?
Well, I think, Silas and Brock, kind of like what Ridge was saying, they're two of the leaders of our team. But I think, a lot of guys in the background, Cam McDaniel and Jacob Van D, Christopher Mento, those guys are Antrell Taylor. Those guys are all leaders within the team too. They just not as vocal, but they're playing out their roles. They know where they stand, and they're good soldiers type thing. It's great to be a great leader, but who you leading? You know what I mean? Well, I know Antrell listens to Brock. He listens to Silas, and so that he imitates those guys just like Jacob Van D does, or just like, Cam McDaniel does, or Christopher Mento. And that all adds into, that sort of team that we have, which is incredible. It's great. They're very low maintenance, and that's because of their great character and how they lead each and every day, and how they, feed off each other and inspire each other. Rather than tear someone down, they're building someone up. And that's what team's all about. So important. People want to talk about culture. Culture is about, about inner character. And then not only that is, what are you doing for others? What are you doing for your team? Are you wrestling just for yourself, or are you wrestling for your team? And, that block in, that script Nebraska across the front means something to these guys. And, they take great pride. Hey, if Brock's leading a warm up today, or it's not, maybe Antrell does it 2 days from now, maybe Silas does it another day. And, that's what teams are all about. They feed off each other, and they know, hey, I don't always have to be front and center. And, someone else can be front and center, and they're going to hold people to a high standard.
When you're bringing guys to that Husker wrestling room, new guys to it, how quick does that come up where you're trying to figure out that person's character and if they're in it for the right reasons?
Well, we pretty much had it figured out when we recruited. and we'll know real quick. Man, we made a bad mistake, but for the most part, we feel like we bat a pretty good percentage when we just evaluate young men and then, get them into our program. And, it takes anyone. It's like, you're the best in one state and you're trying to be the best in 50 states. Well, there's a big jump. Well, he's a four-time state champ. And it doesn't matter where you're, 4-state champ in Pennsylvania or Ohio or Idaho or South Dakota or North Dakota or Nebraska. It's all, you got to be the best in all the states. And there's other guys around doing the same thing in their state. So it's a next level jump, and it's the next level commitment. It's the next level, thought process of thinking, listen, I was the big fish in a small pond. Now I'm going into this big pond. And now, man, I got to get bigger, stronger. I got to faster. I got to get my technique better. I got to get my work ethic. I got to step it up, So it's a lot, and it's challenging, not only physically, but it challenges your mind. And that's where people can grow. And hopefully you've recruited guys that have the right mindset. The right mindset is like, listen, my mindset can go to another level. I can take myself to another level, and my coaches are going to help me get there. And this guy's going to help me get there. My strength coach is going to get, everyone is important in building that mindset for them to be thinking on a higher level and really taking in. So, man, that's a lot, man. You get me going. So,
well, it looks like the guys are clicking in that right direction, just based on, especially that UNI match. You're starting to see some of that mental fortitude. We talked about it Friday, Purdue, 7 p.m. That one starts off, and that is the last home one. And then they're on the road for Minnesota, and then won't be back home until January 23rd versus Iowa. I know we talked a little bit, but before we go to our next break here, Purdue, what are we seeing? Ridge, Coach Mark Manning, I'll open up to both of you guys.
Yeah, they have tough team, right? They're well coached. They're going to come out. They're going to wrestle hard. I think they have 7 in the top 30, 3 in the top 20, 1 in the top 10, right? So Blaze is really their gun. Their 25-pounder Matt Ramos was tough. That one hurts to lose, but I'm expecting us to do really well. Those smaller weight guys, this is one where our 25-pounders can go out there and get it started. We watched the film. I was looking at how they did in their last few duels, and when they went to the CKLV, 1 champ. I think they had 4 placers, 7-1. They haven't wrestled a Power 4 conference school yet, so they're not as loaded as they were. But so it's going to be a good opportunity, kind of a little bit the same as UNI. UNI lost Keckeisen, and when you lose some of those big guns, when teams walk in, it's a little less intimidating. They don't have their superstar with them, but Purdue still has one. So, there's always that. They have at least one superstar, looking for another one to step up. But this is a great opportunity for our guys to go out and put points on the board, right? Because whether it's a tough duel, you want them scoring points. And when they're wrestling someone who might not be quite at their level, you want them to go out there and kind of blow them out of the water, leave no doubt. So I think that this weekend will be a great opportunity to do that. And then some of our guys are going to have real tough matchups, opportunities to climb up the ranks a little bit.
How important is it getting momentum when you're starting to find that consistency, especially now we're opening up Big Ten play here, where you got to bring it every night? Because even a team like Purdue, they might not be absolutely loaded with talent, but there's going to be matches in there where they can catch you by surprise.
Yeah. And, sometimes that's one of the hardest parts about being a competitor is when you're wrestling someone that you feel that you should kind of blow out, and then the match ends up being close, right? That's when you're a little surprised, you get some anxiety, but, it's batten down the hatches, stick to your guns, do what you do, and, find a way to get your hand raised. Even if it's not pretty, the goal is just find a way. Just always find a way. You're always looking for opportunities to score points and just, extend yourself, which we saw from Chance Lamer. When he wrestled Oklahoma State. He was a little gun shy, didn't want to open up, didn't want to wrestle. But then UNI, he started opening up. So if we can just keep that going, and that kind of, it was stuff like that can be contagious. Because after Chance went out there, Brock had a tight one with Corey Land. That kid's tough. And then Chance went out there, kind of blew it open. And a tough one with LJ. And then after that, we were rolling. The offense was flowing. Guys were scoring points, getting to their attacks. And it's just little things like that can really start to be infectious, and guys can, the momentum. Winning's contagious. So,
absolutely. I know the Nebraska basketball team knows that as well.
Right. Right. It was a good weekend for the Scurs, baby.
Yeah. Winter sports are doing well here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Real quick, just on Chance Lamer, since we did get an opportunity to see him for the second time, and he looked really good. To Rich's point, looked aggressive, didn't seem gun shy at all. Coach Mark Manning, what'd you see out of him second time around?
Yeah, I kind of said this in the post interview, but, we talked about last week about being tense and then intense, and people, Chance wrestled really tense against Oklahoma State. I think he met, left left foot marks in the mat. He was stiff, and people deal with anxiety in big moments. And Chance probably hadn't wrestled in front of 8,000 fans for a long time, and it was his first match, overhyped up. You got to get up, but you can't get overhyped. And it's a great learning lesson for him to know how to be able to quiet not only his body down, but quiet his mind down. And then, how he made an adjustment and wrestled the other night against Northern Iowa. And so it's really important to learn those things and to make the corrections. And not everyone makes corrections. So like Ridge was saying, this is a great opportunity for him to get on a roll and go out there and do. I'm not sure, the guy that he's wrestling, but I'm sure he's going to be tough. You're wrestling a Big Ten opponent. You're going to wrestle. It's a top 30 guy for most likely. So everyone's got good guys, and we try to wrestle faceless opponents. I challenged our team. Are you going to wrestle Northern Iowa different than you're going to wrestle Penn State in a month? Why? Why would you wrestle the same? And that's the identity we're really, really trying to create here in 2026 is create that identity as a team, not just individually, but as a team. And so I think we're going to, hopefully like what Ridge said, we're going to see more of that on this Friday. And then, we got a tough road. When you go on the road in the Big Ten, Minnesota, tough team, it's always kind of back and forth, but they're always a tough out, so they're a good opponent. And then we're back home. So we really only have 4 home duels left, starting this Friday. And you
end with 3 straight on the road.
Yeah,
the year, and then you get Penn State, then last one's Northwestern, and then it's Illinois, Indiana,
February
Utah
8th, February 8th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for our fans, really, these are precious, man. We talk to our team about, especially, guys like Brock Hardy and Chance Lamer and Silas Allred. These are 4 home duels these are their last 4 home duels. And so everyone is precious and memorable. And, for our fans, just really challenge them to come out, support us on Friday night. Let's pack that Bob Devaney and keep this momentum going. We really feel it, and we're really grateful for the fans and young people coming supporting us. And hopefully we'll have some students come back into town and get that student section packed again. So
should be a lot of fun. Definitely go there, pack it. Friday, 7 p.m. Purdue. Head coach Mark Manning said you only got 4 opportunities left to go check these guys out at their home venue. So don't go anywhere. We'll throw it the break one more time here at Takedown Tuesdays. Head coach Mark Manning, national champ Ridge Lovett.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
If you're tired of the dieting circuit paradox but still want to look, feel, and perform better, you need to get to Nutrition Authority and ask about our nutrition coaching featuring LifeBase. LifeBase takes a complex world of nutrition and makes it simple with real results that last. Stop in to learn more or check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home.
No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Fern as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
January is your reset button. This January 10th, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping in Lincoln is kicking off our 10-week challenge. We combine high-energy kickboxing, powerful strength training, and simple, proven nutrition to deliver real results in just 10 weeks. For a limited time, get $150 off when you enroll today. No gimmicks, just coaching, accountability, and a community that pushes you to win. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Visit fxblincoln.com and start your strongest year yet at Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. 2 locations, South 40th and Yankee Hill, North 70th and Vine. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, changing lives 10 weeks at a time.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at coppellcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
Back to Takedown Tuesday with Nebraska Wrestling head coach Mark Manning, powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. Takedown Tuesdays. Head coach Mark Manning, national champ Ridge Lovett. Let's get to one off the text line before we go ahead and get out of here. This one from Jay Sparks says, your thoughts on Cade Ziola match against Kay Hopke at Soldier Salute?
Well, you know, he's 1-1 against that young man. Cade beat him up at the North Dakota State Open, Bison Open, 2 months ago, month and a half ago. And, Cade wrestled pretty well. Just needs to stay offensive. I think he's going to be fine. That kid's tough. He'll be their starter I think he separated himself in that tournament from the other young man that wrestled last year for them. And so, that guy's really good wrestler. And, Cade will learn from this experience and move on, get better. But good match. And that's why he went over there, get good competition. And Cade wrestled real well. He beat the Navy guy who's won the Navy Classic. And so I think a lot of good positives come out of that. And I think Cade will make good adjustments.
Well said. And we only got a little bit of time here left. So just out of curiosity, I know I talked to the other guys about this, but in your personal opinion, Rich, you can jump in on this. Who's got the best walkout music? Because I know Antrell Taylor's I'm a big fan. It sets the tone with his.
What did he walk out to this time? He changed it.
Oh, he did?
He changed it. Oh, my goodness. It was another good. My favorite, though, is Tofi walking out to Skrilla.
What does he got?
Skrilla, Kodak. That Florida boy. Come on. I like it. That one gets me fired up. But when Charlie walks out to the Michael Myers music, it's good. I can't remember what he walked out to this week.
That's something you even pay attention to, Coach, or you just whatever gets the guys hyped.
I don't know. I know AJ Ferrari's going to wrestle on Friday, and I'm sure he'll be walking out to Rocky Balboa.
You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, and people love that, and AJ definitely loves it. He plays it right after practice every day. So
yeah, he does.
Yeah. So the Eye of the Tiger will be played, I'm sure.
That or his Mr. Fast Twitch song. Shout out TP and Esco, the wrestling rappers.
Well, if you want to find out, you got to head down there Friday. Again, I can't sell it enough. 7 p.m. They got Purdue, and then it's the last home one. Otherwise, you got to wait till the end of the month. And then they get Iowa, then it's Ohio State, and then it's just one more after that, Northwestern. So again, you only got 4 more opportunities to go check these guys out. Couldn't recommend it enough. Seems like the guys are peaking at the right time. But Friday, again, Purdue, 7 o'clock. Go down there, check it out. We'll be pushing it all week long to get that place filled up. That is head coach Mark Manning, national champ Ridge Lovett. Appreciate everyone listening. Don't go anywhere, though. We'll keep Ticket Weeknights rolling. Me and Nick Wyman will keep you company for an hour right here, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com.